This girl went to school, where for any mistake you can be locked in a cage, thrown into a swamp, or forced to eat a huge cake. Let's find out what happens if you become the principal's main enemy. Almost all parents consider the birth of children to be the most important event in their lives and a real gift from fate. But not Mrs. Wormwood. This woman assured the doctors until the very moment of giving birth that she was not pregnant. Mrs. Wormwood gave birth to an adorable baby girl, but it turned out that her husband wasn't happy about it either. He wanted a son, not a daughter. It seems that this child has been very unlucky with his parents since birth. This girl was named Matilda. Her parents didn't pay much attention to her, and our heroine read different books almost all the time. It turns out that she wasn't even sent to school. One day, the Wormwood family is visited by the school principal and his assistant named Jennifer Hanny. Matilda's parents are lying that their daughter is homeschooled. Miss Hanny wants to send this girl to Crunch Hall School. She works there as a teacher of history, music, and literature. But Matilda is sure that her parents won't let her go anywhere. However, the girl is wrong. Mr. Wormwood is fined for the violation. And now he must send his daughter to school. The man boasts that he called the principal of this school and said that Matilda is the most terrible child in the world. But that is not true. Our little heroine is very hurt, so she decides to take revenge on Dad. The girl mixes green dye into his hair tonic. Mr. Wormwood does not notice this, and soon his hair changes its color. The next morning, Matilda goes to her new school. There is a big lock on the gate. Her neighbor, Mrs. Phelps, drives by and says that lessons won't start for another hour. A kind woman treats a girl to lemonade and listens to her story. This is a story about two of the greatest circus performers, Fungfriend, a talented acrobat, and a clever magician. They perform the most dangerous stunts. For example, a flaming woman flies with dynamite in her hair over sharks and sharp stakes, and a man trapped in a cage catches her. Matilda doesn't finish her story because it is time for her to run to school. She meets another new student. Her name is Lavender, and she took her favorite lizard with her. It turns out that this is an elite school for boys and girls. Many of them admit that they feel like they are in a cage from which it is impossible to escape. It is forbidden to complain and cry here. The prefects lead the new girls to their first lesson. Matilda already knows the alphabet, but no one cares. They don't like it when someone stands out from the crowd and asks too many questions. Lavender and Matilda run to their classroom. Miss Honey introduces them to the other students. A complex mathematical equation is written on the blackboard. The teacher says that it was left after the previous lesson and asks Matilda to erase it. Instead, the girl solves this equation. Miss Honey understands that Matilda is a real genius. She finds out that this girl has read 8 big books in the last week alone. Miss Honey goes to the principal. She is a domineering, strict, and very demanding woman named Miss Agatha Trunchbull. Agatha was once a champion hammer thrower. She hates children and considers them worms. Of course, the evil Miss Trunchbull refuses to transfer Matilda to the senior class. In this school, no one should ever break any of the rules. Whoever does this will be severely punished. Matilda returns home and wants to tell her parents about her first day at school, but Dad and Mom refuse to listen to her. By the way, Mr. Wormwood still calls Matilda a boy. Our heroine finds out about her father's illegal business and says that this should not be done. The man gets very angry and rips up her favorite book. The next morning, Matilda takes revenge on her father and pours glue into his hat. The girl goes to school and communicates with her classmates during recess. The other children warn Matilda that Miss Trunchbull hates students who are too smart. A girl from the senior class says that the principal has a favorite way of punishing children. This is a special cabinet with sharp spikes called a strangler. A frightened classmate of Matilda's named Nigel appears and says that someone poured a can of molasses on Miss Trunchbull's table. The headmistress is sure it was him. The students hide Nigel just a second before Miss Trunchbull appears. Matilda says that the boy has been sleeping under their jackets for an hour, which means he cannot be a suspect. Then Miss Trunchbull scolds a girl named Amanda for braiding her pigtails and sends her on an incredible flight. Fortunately, Amanda is fine. Matilda tells her neighbor Miss Phelps, the continuation of a fantastic story about a talented acrobat. A new villain appears in this story, an evil woman with a hammer. She is the half-sister of the main character. The audience learns that the acrobat is pregnant. Despite this, the stepsister still forces the girl to perform her most dangerous acrobatic trick. Matilda confesses to her neighbor that she has not yet written a sequel to this story. It is the third day at the new school. The children have lunch in the dining room. Miss Honey says she will personally train Matilda in secret from the principal. The girl is very happy. Suddenly, Miss Trunchbull appears in the dining room. She accuses Matilda of stealing a piece of her chocolate cake, but it wasn't her. The thief turned out to be a boy named Bruce, and the main proof is his chocolate cake-flavored burp. Miss Trunchbull makes Bruce eat a huge cake whole. She promises that she will forgive him if he does. Bruce picks up a spoon. This cake is almost the same size as the boy himself. The students are trying to support their friend and hope that he will not burst. Bruce really manages to eat everything. This is a victory. But Miss Trunchbull breaks her promise and still wants to take him to her punishment unit. This is the Strangler. Matilda screams that the rules should not be changed, but the headmistress does not want to listen to her and takes the boy away. All the students are very disappointed and upset. They sing about their hopes for the future. When they grow up, they will finally be able to be free and happy. After school, Matilda continues to tell Mrs. Phelps her story about a talented acrobat. The evil stepsister still forces her to perform her dangerous trick. An acrobat climbs a tower with dynamite on her head. She has to jump into a shark pool, and her husband has to break out of his cage in 12 seconds and save his wife. He manages to do it. He grabs his beloved and throws dynamite. An explosion sounds and metal structures break. Because of this, the acrobat falls down and gets very seriously injured. Because of this, she cannot survive childbirth. She still has a little daughter. The acrobat's husband asks her stepsister to help him raise this child. But the woman behaves very cruelly with her. Matilda returns home and sees that her parents have earned a lot of money illegally and are incredibly happy about it. The girl calls her father a liar and a fraud. Mr. Wormwood believes that books are to blame for her bad behavior and forbids her daughter to go to the library. Matilda is writing the continuation of her story. The acrobat's evil sister locked her stepdaughter in a cold basement. Her father found her and comforted her. He put his daughter to bed, and when she fell asleep, went to his wife's stepsister. Alas, the man never returned home after that. The next day, the students call Matilda their heroine and the leader of the revolution. Upon hearing about this, Miss Trunchbull bursts into Matilda's classroom. She forces school children to perform the most difficult physical exercises so that they do not have the strength to rebel. They have to run in the rain, in the mud, through the swamp, and overcome various obstacles. Miss Trunchbull imagines how wonderful this world would be without children. Lavender throws her pet newt into a jug of water. Miss Trunchbull takes a sip and screams in horror. She wants to punish another student, but Matilda stands up for her classmate. Miss Trunchbull is furious. She wants to expel this cocky girl from school. Suddenly, Matilda has a superpower. It is telekinesis. She throws a cup of newt at Miss Trunchbull. The director is afraid of newts, so he runs away. Matilda shows Miss Hannah her new talent. With the help of telekinesis, she makes the glass fly in the air. The teacher invites Matilda to her home. It is a small house with very poor furnishings. It looks like a barn. There, the girl is surprised to find out that her mother and Miss Khan were talented acrobats. Moreover, she has an evil aunt, and that is Miss Trunchbull. She took the house away from her niece, and now the woman has to live in this small barn. Enraged, Matilda runs through the forest, finds a strangler, and destroys it with telekinesis. At home, the girl finds out that her father has serious problems with the mafia, and therefore her parents are going to flee to Spain. She worries and cries because she is afraid of losing her friends and Miss Hannah. The next day, the girl rushes to school. Miss Trunchbull gathers Matilda's entire class in the cafeteria. There, the headmistress makes the students write the words correctly on the blackboard. Anyone who makes a mistake will be punished and sent to a new strangler. She makes Lavender spell out a long, made-up word for the girl makes a mistake, and the other children also start saying different words with mistakes. The director won't be able to punish everyone, but it turns out that Miss Trunchbull has built stranglers for every student. Matilda uses telekinesis and writes with chalk on the blackboard, pretending to be the ghost of the acrobat's husband. She demands that Miss Hannah's house be returned. Miss Trunchbull breaks the blackboard and refuses to do it. Then Matilda uses telekinesis again and expels the headmistress from the school. Miss Han takes the keys to the school and her father's house from her. After the evil Miss Trunchbull escapes, the students celebrate their release. They dance and sing, and then destroy the statue of the nasty headmistress. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood arrive to take Matilda with them to Spain, but Miss Hanny promises to take care of this girl, of course. Her parents agree. As a sign of gratitude, the girl even takes off her father's glued hat. Miss Han becomes the new principal of the school. Now the students feel completely happy here. Miss Han and Matilda are very grateful to each other for their help. They became a real family.